Pope Leo XIV has delivered a message that has shaken the hearts and minds of people all over the world. In an age where most powerful voices avoid taking strong positions and prefer to speak in polished, diplomatic tones, Pope Leo has taken a bold and fearless stand. He didn't soften his words to avoid discomfort. He didn't speak only to the religious or the faithful. He spoke to anyone who still dares to think for themselves, to ask questions, and to seek truth in a world drowning in confusion. His message was not just spiritual, it was a deep and urgent call to open our eyes and recognize what is happening around us. Today, we live in a world where we are constantly being told that everything is done for our safety. Politicians, media outlets, and global leaders repeatedly promise peace, security, and progress. But Pope Leo boldly challenged that narrative. He exposed what he described as the greatest lie of our time, the illusion that all these actions are taken in the name of our protection. According to him, behind those words lies something far more dangerous, something hidden, something that serves the interests of the powerful at the expense of the weak. He made it clear that many of the public messages we hear, the speeches, the official statements, the media reports, do not match reality. He pointed out how slogans are carefully designed, how stories are packaged to create a sense of comfort or fear depending on what benefits those in control. But behind these polished surfaces lies a manipulated version of the truth. Pope Leo warned that when truth is lost or twisted, everything else becomes corrupt: justice, peace, even faith. They begin to lose their meaning and become empty appearances. What Pope Leo asked for was not more religious devotion or blind belief. He asked people to become aware, to stop living in a fog of information that only serves to numb us. He warned that many of the loud voices we hear today are not telling us what's really happening. And if we continue to believe these voices without question, we are allowing ourselves to be guided deeper into a world of lies and illusions. During a private meeting held on June 26th in the Vatican, with representatives who support churches in the Middle East, Pope Leo spoke without filters. He confronted the common belief that everything governments do is done for our protection. He asked a direct and powerful question: how much longer can we keep pretending that these actions are done in the name of peace, when in truth, peace is often the first victim? Behind the public talk of safety and stability, he said, there are hidden motives, motivated not by care or concern, but by profit and control. He revealed that decisions are being made behind closed doors, decisions that benefit only a small group of people, while the most fragile, the poorest, the sick, and the forgotten, are left behind. The Pope emphasized that people are not as blind as they once were. Many are starting to realize that something is wrong. People are beginning to notice how resources are being used, and they are asking why so little is invested in things that actually help and heal. Though he did not name names or specific countries, his message was crystal clear. There are those who profit from division and chaos. These people and organizations rely on fear and tension to keep their influence strong. They do not want peace. They want control, and this, Pope Leo said, is the lie we've been sold. We're told that systems are in place to protect us, but in fact, they often do the opposite. They increase suffering, feed anxiety, and make the world less safe, especially for the most vulnerable. Even the institutions that were once created to serve and support humanity are now being broken down. With visible emotion, Pope Leo said that we must not accept this as normal. His words were more than a warning, they were a call to action. He asked people to stop blindly trusting everything they hear from official sources and to start thinking for themselves. Because when personal or political gain replaces the common good, truth is the first victim. He then turned his focus to how public opinion is shaped. He explained that in today's world, people are constantly being pushed to believe certain things, not because those things are true, but because someone wants them to be accepted. He spoke about how dangerous misinformation can be, how false news and misleading stories can cost lives. But his message was not a rejection of media or technology, but a challenge to the system that uses information not to inform, but to manipulate. He warned that emotions are being used as tools. People are made to feel fear, anger, or urgency, not naturally, but by design. These emotions are created and spread over and over again until people accept actions they would have once rejected. This strategy is not new, he said, but today it is faster, more powerful, and harder to resist than ever before. As a result, truth gets lost. With so many messages, so many voices, and so much noise, it becomes difficult to know what is real. Pope Leo called this era one of emotional simulation, a time when feelings are created artificially to guide people's thinking. The real causes behind the world's problems are not being addressed. Instead, they are hidden beneath well-crafted stories. These stories are designed not to help, but to cover up decisions that were made in secret, decisions that usually serve only a select few. In our fast-paced digital world where opinions spread like wildfire and facts are hard to verify, this manipulation becomes even more dangerous. The Pope stressed that we all have a role to play. It's not enough just to listen. We must learn to recognize what's real and what's fake. We must stop spreading lies if we don't know their lies. Because even well-meaning people can become part of the problem if they repeat what isn't true. And yet, even with such a heavy message, Pope Leo did not leave us in despair. He reminded us that there is still hope. In the middle of all this confusion and darkness, he spoke of the light that still shines. He described small, local churches as oxygen tanks keeping the faith alive in places where everything else seems lost. These churches remain close to the suffering. They become a voice for the voiceless, and they remind us that all is not lost. He praised the ordinary believers, those who continue to love, pray, and serve, even when they are exhausted and surrounded by destruction. He spoke about ancient prayers and hymns that still rise to heaven, asking for forgiveness and hope. In the darkest nights, he said, God's people have always found the strength to stand firm. They do not forget who they are. They become signs of hope for others. At the heart of everything he said is this simple truth: do not be deceived. Do not accept beautiful words if they are hiding ugly actions. Do not let fear be used as a reason for more control. This message isn't just for politicians or religious leaders. It is for everyone who values human dignity, honesty, and the future of our world. Pope Leo closed his message with a powerful but simple instruction: we must pray. He said that every piece of news we hear, every tragedy, every injustice, should not make us numb. Instead, it should move us to pray. Pray for the victims. Pray for the truth. Pray for the courage of those who are still trying to do good in a broken world. This, he said, is the path we must walk. It's not a path of silence or giving up, but a path of faith and action. Because it is only those who live in truth, who speak the truth, and follow the truth, who can bring real peace into this world. Not the kind of peace promised in empty speeches, but the kind that touches lives, heals wounds, and brings light where there is darkness. In a world full of confusion, fake headlines, and false promises, Pope Leo's voice stands out. It reminds us that truth still matters. Those who care about truth must be brave, brave enough to seek it, brave enough to speak it, brave enough to live by it even when it is difficult, even when it costs us something. Because in the end, truth is what gives life, and only the truth can set us free.